Good morning, Monday morning. It's a holiday here in Panama. I believe this is Independence Day from Spain. So the beginning of the month, it's from Colombia, and that's 3 days long. And then today is Independence, I believe, from Spain, or that could be the 28th. I just know that all month it's all pretty much devoted to celebrating Panama and its independence, whatever that means. I know that people in Panama really believe that they're independent, but I mean, the truth of the matter is no governments are independent of the cult. They're basically just CEOs for the people that run this place, whatever this place is, and whatever those energies are. So I wanted to talk a little bit more. Maid is a big issue, probably because I have the target on my back because I'm 66. So I'm going to just kind of give a bit of a breakdown to an article, and I will link the article that Jason Christoff shared, my teacher, my mentor, Jason Christoff, about MAID and about the article that talked about the cost savings. So I will link that too. It's from the Journal of Death and Dying, I believe, and I just read it. So MAID now it's the fifth leading cause of death in Canada. And Canada is leading the pack. And this is my opinion from what I've witnessed. Is that it seems that different countries are experimental sites for different things. The digital ID in the UK, for one, is really being pushed hard there. But it won't be the government that does digital ID. And some of the people that I listen to and talk to about digital ID, Greg Reese being one of them, and I think he's bang on. It won't come in through the government. It'll be private. It'll be like Visa is going to do facial recognition. I mean, for an e-cedula that I have here, it's my fingerprint. I'm sure it'll go to facial. It will all go digital. That's just the way of it. Whether you want to go along with it or not um, is up to you. But what will happen is you will not be able to, in the long run, participate in society. First, it will be voluntary to do all of this, and then it will become non voluntary. So that brings me back to the article that I just read, and I have been talking about this. So, the cost savings of over 20 years from 2027 to 2047 of killing over 14 to 16 million people. But I think the terms that you really need to look at in this are voluntary and non voluntary. Non voluntary would mean that you're not volunteering to euthanize yourself, that it becomes something that's state sanctioned. So this is democide, and really, COVID was democide. This is democide. These are CEOs for corporations that are making legislation that will have voluntary and non voluntary. And they're opening up the floodgates of who they're going to allow because remember, in 2027, mature minors, 12 and over, mental health. You can make pre-decisions about having it done if you're fearful of dementia, which dementia is on the. I mean, it's all the poisons that are going into people's bodies. They're creating it. It's like this death factory from the moment you're born. Before you're born, there's poisons that are put into your system, right? And it's getting worse and worse. And you look at Canada, I have watched the chronic disease explode, right? From lifestyle choices, from all the different poisons that are in the air, the water, the medications that we take. And as Jason Christoff so beautifully points out, this Bell Canada, which I never got involved with, and I worked in mental health because I didn't like it, right? To come forward and talk about your mental, it's to identify as having something wrong with you, right? To have a label, a mental health label, and this victimhood that seems to go along with the fact we're emotional beings. What we're feeling is not wrong. When you live in a prison, when you live without the social determinants of health, with they have most cunningly gotten rid of, what do you think that does to the human psyche? Does it make them depressed? Does it make them suicidal? right? They want to include people that have had suicide attempts, that are suicidal, they'll just made them, right? Uh, People with severe or any kind of mental health problem, the mature minors, elderly definitely, over 65. That's a big group. That's the largest group. Homeless people, people with addiction problems. They create the addiction problems. You understand that. We live in a society that basically pats you on the back for being addicted because everything, take a pill for this, take a pill for that. I got to have this, I got to have that. I have to have this to feel normal. There's a chemical imbalance in my brain. This getting the DSM, the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Psychiatric Disorders, which is all fucking an illusion. It's not real. It's not real. They've basically pathologicalized being human. And then we're going to give you drugs for that. And now we're going to give you death. And the thing is, will become non-voluntary. It will be just expected of you to kill yourself, right? And now they're making you older at a younger age, 50 now. I keep seeing these things. 50 is the new old, right? They're saying at 50 or this. And you see the pictures that go along with it. What do you think that does to the brain? Remember, we create reality. And subconsciously, if you believe that that's what it is, you will become that because that's the nature of the world we live in. And another really disturbing thing about this article, beyond the voluntary and non voluntary, is that the government will hire their own assassins because they can do it cheaper than the medical. So you'll have government paid assassins, maybe for a couple $100 of fucking death, that will either come to your home to kill you, come to an institution to kill you, be cheaper than anybody else. Hello? And there's no pushback on this because they've made you hate, they've nudged you into hating this group of people. I heard this one alternative. I kind of like the guy's work, Canadian guy, I can't remember his name, that's been shouting out about a lot of things, but then shouts out that these baby boomers, yeah, yeah, yeah. Fuck off with that. Okay, there's some fucking stupid baby boomers, but guess what? There's some stupid people everywhere. They've all been mind controlled. Stop it with the division and the labels. So, my thinking is on this that you human beings, all of us, I mean, I'm not in that country. I will not go to a medical facility. I think I'd rather fucking die than go there. Right. And even here, I won't go. I will not. Right. I'll try my best to fucking deal with it on my own. And the thing is, we are the healers. It's us that heal ourselves. It's here. Epigenetics. Your thoughts control how you feel. If you've been conditioned your whole life, sickness, 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 and I must say that mental health became put on a pedestal with COVID. I saw it, right? It came out of the fucking woodwork. People had lost their minds. They had been driven to lose their minds. People are not supposed to live through what we live through, right? That was just insanity. And the insanity remains, and the insanity has been put up here, but all they're doing is identifying you. And there are strange stories of homeless people going missing. What's up with that? That they come and pick them up, they're going to take them to a better place. Where is that? Are they already euthanizing the homeless people? Probably. And I would think that if you're going to save money on jails, though I would think that the private jails in the US wouldn't like that. But in Canada, I think that there'd be a good case that they're going to start really euthanizing the prisoners. Right? So what happens if you're poor, you don't have any money, but you see the elite and the people that do have money, the haves, and you want to be like them, and you're showing all the shit on TV, which is a mind control fucking tool. What do you think you're going to do? Do you think you're going to do it legitimately or you're going to do it illegitimately, like your illegitimate governments? It's the killing fields. It is the killing fields in Canada. So I will share that article with you. There's also some tapes with Jason's about Dr. Day. So the Dr. Day tapes were made from a talk that was given in 1969, a private talk by Dr. Day to a bunch of his colleagues. I think it was 80 of them that were doctors. And they were told not to record any of this because it would put his life in peril. But the one doctor did write down everything when he got home, but he never ever released the information until after Dr. Day actually died from natural causes. And what it spoke of on the day tapes was exactly what you see what's going on now, right? The culling of the herd, because this is the culling of the herd. And they'll do it in various ways. Euthanizing people is another one, playing around with the fertility rates, which have, tanked, um, and normalizing death, addiction, basically changing sexuality, and becoming more promiscuous and more sexual and breaking down families and breaking down communities. This is all long planned. It's a social engineering plan. So, that being said, that doesn't mean that we don't have power in this. Actually, the power lies and rests completely with us to not accept it. They may go through with it. I believe in Canada they will indeed go through with it. You have, what is there, Pamela Wallin, one of the senators. She's already come out and said that she's going to approve it. And she was a propagandist. She worked for one of the, major propaganda organizations. I don't know. At one time I had respect for some of these people. None now. None. They're a part of the killing group. They're a part of the ones that are saying that this is a good thing to save money and to be more efficient. What could be more a technological technocracy, transhuman eugenics? And think of the pressure that's put on the living, that group of people that don't have a target on their back. But if they get a target on their back, like say they're stressed out, they've just had it with being worked like a fucking slave and the constant fucking bombardment of fear porn about everything, climate change, which is just basically geoengineering of the skies, weather warfare, right? So you have people terrified that the wolf is at the door all the time. How do you think that fucking manifests in the mental health? What does it do for people over 65 that are basically propagandized to believe that you have no use? All you're doing it, and I see the headlines, the AI headlines that tell us just that you have no worth, right? You're just going to suck fucking healthcare. You must be kidding. I won't go fucking near it. I know there's others that think that the white coats are the fucking, all that in a bag of chippies and they're going to make your health better. Take a look at your health. Are you healthy? I just heard a story about a woman that I used to do dance with. I used to do the five rhythm dance. And she had had compressions in the spine, which tends to be a common one in people. There probably were lifestyle changes that could have been made, but that's not the route that she took. She trusted the medical. And I used to work on a med surge floor, and back surgeries were one of their biggest things. I didn't see one that was successful. Not one. They all came back with untoward side effects. This is your spinal column. In this woman, they severed the spinal column. So she is now paralyzed. And she's part of the group. She would be part just from being paralyzed of the group that has a fucking bounty on her back, right? Do you think that hospitals are about your health? They're not. They're business centers. And the pharmaceutical industries and big death, dying with dignity, all of them have their tentacles into this because it's all about money. For all the deaths that were attributed to COVID, which were basically they were drugged and they weren't treated and they weren't given antibiotics and they were sent home to die, and all of it, they have paid money. Hospitals are not your friends. For older people, stop believing in them. Each thing that you put into your arm with a needle crosses the blood-brain barrier, and it has nanotechnology in it and metals that create Alzheimer's, all these different types of dementias that you're seeing. It's not you, it's the environment and the things that you're taking in. And aging, in my mind, because I really don't feel any different than I felt when I was in my 40s. I don't, because I don't believe it. You age on your own ground of what you believe aging is. right? To me, I like the wisdom. I'd never go back to another time. Never. I like being wise. I like the fact of aging. I think it's a gift, a privilege to be able to age, right? And I find purpose in helping and being kind and putting good energy out to the world. That is my purpose, right? I'm an elder, and I do not believe the propaganda that we're useless fucking eaters that deserve to die. Right? Do you believe that you're a useless eater that deserves to die? Or maybe you could fucking pull the reins of your health into your own hands because you can. They did experiments a long time ago with lifting weights in long term care homes with people that were non ambulatory. And do you know within weeks these people started to ambulate? Do you know that there are ways to keep the mind working and active that don't do anything with medications? Number one, challenging yourself, changing your routine, doing things that scare you, right? Getting rid of the poisons and the fluorides and the Teflon pans that you have, tin foils that you wrap your foods in, right? Plastic wraps that are everywhere. Cutting down on the poisons that you consume, being conscientious about your health, and basically liking who you are and caring, as I think Greg Reese, and I like the way he says it, caring for your human suit. It's yours. It's good like his dog. You take good care of it. If you take good care of it, it'll work well for you. And it'll keep you out of these systems that are trying to kill you. Will it come to pass in Canada? It will. What are you going to do when it becomes non mandatory? When you just have to, and that the nudge units have worked with people. The nudge units already have. Because I know how I feel when I go to that country. I know how I felt when I was in that country, right? When I turned around 50 and what the prevailing um, sort of thought out there or how you were treated. You were treated much differently, especially when you're a woman. Older men are more respected than, but that's changing. Older women are not respected at all. We're seen as hags and crones. I really could care less what you think, right? I'm here to enjoy life, and I try very hard every day. Yet I look at these things, and when I feel the need to speak out about them. Though, does it change anything? Hopefully, it'll change your mind and help you to understand that you are power. You're not what they believe you to be, and that it's okay to just euthanize you and basically murder you by state sanction assassins that make a couple of $100 for fucking killing you. But if you live in a world where there's no money and everybody's scrambling in scarcity because it's been made, how does this small group of people up here get to have everything and the rest not? Think of that, because more and more there's this wealth transfer. Whatever's going to happen with the economy as it goes digitalized, it has to. Do you understand? There is no money. This fiat system that they've created where money just keeps losing value because it has no value, it's just paper, right? There has to be a change. And there will. It will come to pass. So my thing every day, and I guess I thought as I got older, I could relax a little bit into being retired. But that really is not it. And as I get into it, I don't want to, right? I want to be self sufficient and not dependent or reliant and not get cornered into this, non voluntary. Here, thank God they don't do that. I still think. And in Mexico, I know I was delighted when I left the country, Canada, when I came here, right? When at my first visit here, where I used a religious exemption because it does go against my belief and spiritual system, not to put poison in my body. And so you could do that with Mexican airline. So that's how I first came here, was through Mexico. And what I loved about Mexico, that all the people many of the people in the airport, older people, right? So the Latin American community actually revere women. They do, the Madre. Um, they don't put a thing on age. Age is not a big deal here, right? So in Latin American countries, I think they'll have to work very hard to get you to kill. There's not even a lot of long-term care homes. It's more family lives together, right? It's very beautiful. And there's a sense of joy here when they do. Most people work 6 days a week. During these holidays, they get a little extra time off. And so it's just out in nature being joyous. I've learned a very lot from living in this country. I really, and I've said this before, I wish I came here many, many, many years ago because it's a civil society still. Canada's not a civil society. And the thing is, you can't hide from it because it's coming for you, right? As a cost saving, because Canada's growth is, there is no growth in Canada. None. They don't want to. It's all part of it. If you read any of the stuff by Elizabeth Nixon, she's done a lot of work on the green economy, which is basically zero growth. And taking back, and they're doing it in British Columbia. Look at, I have nothing against anybody of any, but I'm not saying that Aboriginal people have been treated well. They haven't. They're under the apartheid, the Indian Act, right? Has damaged them, right? And a lot of the monies that are given are not, don't go to them, right? Again, greed is everywhere and in every group. And so in Richmond, the land that they gave back because of the Supreme Court ruling has made those properties and businesses worthless. Imagine. These are like mansions, a lot of them. And the next day after that, I think one lawyer said, "Oh, it'll never come to pass." It did. The next day after that, some of the banks started to pull their loans. Remember, it'll come through the banking, right? Banking is a big one in this with the digital ID because they can take you out of everything. Another one is the insurance companies. What if you can't insure your house unless you retrofit them to this green agenda? So where does that leave you? That leaves you with trying to be the best that you can be every day, right? And to wake up to the challenge of what you see around you and to bring some joy because we're alive today, right? We have our health today. I tell myself that all the time. So, on that note, I will leave you that. I'll leave you something from Wise Quotes because I always like that because they really do reinforce where your power lies and your power of creativity. I'm not going to sidle up with the death cult, right? This occult death cult that is ruling the world through corporations that have CEOs that act like your governments that aren't your governments. Not a one of them, not anywhere, right? So we'll see what comes to pass. But in Canada, this will go through and their cost saving measures. So you know what? Stay out of the hospitals, stay healthy, stay vibrant. You can be at any age. It's this. This is where the war's happening in here. Okay. Take care and have a good day. And tomorrow is Remembrance Day. And for all the veterans that fought for us, God bless you because they hate you too. You know, Margaret Sanger, the queen of fucking eugenics, she wrote about she hated soldiers. She hated veterans. They want you fucking dead. They sent you out in the killing fields to kill you. And when you come back, and they're one of the targets for Maid in Canada, right? We won't give you service. And we'll cut back. They're cutting back, cutting back, cutting back, cutting back. What's that one judge in Maritimes? It's going to make it like it's against the law to wear a poppy in the courtroom. Like, where do you fucking come from, you people? Where are you getting your fucking Wi-Fi information from? God's Wi-Fi or the devil's Wi-Fi? It's trying to hook you up to the devil's Wi-Fi. And in Canada, it would appear that they've hooked an awful lot of people up to that. An awful lot. So be free. Tell yourself that you're healthy. I'm healthy. See it in your mind's eye. Imagine it. I'm wealthy. I'm wise. I'm strong. I'm whole. And I'm free. On that note, have a good day.